Hi Aquarius, this is going to be your monthly reading for the month of February for Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this will not resonate for every single Aquarius out there. Alright, you guys, let's get started. What's the collective of Aquarius going through for the month of February? For the month of February, I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be focusing on your family life, your stability life. Focusing on making sure that you have enough fundings, even. I'm also getting that a lot of you guys are going to enjoy I feel like some of you guys, you've put a lot of your time and effort into people that haven't paid back to you and that have been slow to invest back. And I feel like a lot of my Aquariuses, a lot of you guys are kind of done with that. Because I'm getting that for a lot of you guys, you're starting to see the lesson in this connection. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles, Justice, the 5 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the 4 of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the 8 of Swords, and then we have the 6 of Wands, and then the Hanged Man. A lot of you guys have put a lot of thought and effort into what you've done for others and what has that person done for you. So it's almost like a lot of you guys are starting to kind of reevaluate your relationships. For some of you, these are friends, family members. I'm getting that this could be a group of people. It's not just one particular person. It's people that are close to you. You give a lot of your time and effort into it, Aquarius, and I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of questioning, is this really paying off? Am I really getting the love and the commitment that I deserve from these people? Because I feel like you guys kind of realize that people take you for granted. And oftentimes, you're learning the lesson, though. You're learning the lesson in this connection about why, because I feel like you've attracted a lot of people in your life, Aquarius, that do this. And a lot of you guys are kind of saying, okay, there's something going on with my foundation inside of myself, because every time I'm around certain people, I feel drained. People never seem to take my advice. I always feel like I don't want to stay stuck anymore. I don't want to stay stagnant. I don't want to stay in a relationship that I feel like I can't really move forward with. And I think that for a lot of you guys, this is something that you've been really contemplating and really putting yourself out for, because I feel like you guys have had a lot of pain and disappointment. And even though that you had a lot of pain and disappointment, you still invested a lot. You took a lot of time, and you've even been patient with people. And I feel like, Aquarius, because you've been so patient with people and because you've been so understanding, it's like people have taken advantage of that. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you realized that you needed to protect yourselves. You really needed to protect your own heart. So I feel like a lot of you guys, when you were around people, you were in torment. You were in this state of confusion and frustration, because I feel like you guys give your all into connections, and I think that you see people and it's like they tell you, it's not enough, or that can you do this for me and that for me, and it's like you almost feel like people just see you as maybe even a cash cow for some of you. Some of you guys maybe have money and people take advantage of that. Or there's some type of resource that you have, Aquarius, that people are taking advantage of. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're always afraid to be the bad guy. So you always gave, and you always kept yourself quiet from really what you wanted to say to people, because I think you didn't really want to stir the pot. You didn't really want to cause drama. And so you always tried to work with people, even though those people weren't willing to work with you. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you feel so frustrated because you're around people that don't want to grow. Yeah, they don't want to put in the work to make anything in your life stable. It's like but you are. That's the worst part about it, is I feel like you're really the only one that's trying to actually put in the work. And I feel like the way that you did it was you decided, I don't care if I sound like the bad guy. I think some of you guys kind of put your foot down with certain family members, certain friends, certain loved ones. And you were saying that, you know, I'm not emotionally happy. This isn't the way I want it to go. And I think for a lot of you guys, you kind of stopped juggling. You decided that, you know what, the conflict that these people cause in my life isn't worth it. And you put down the wand and you stopped fighting. You're like, I'm not doing that. Because it was a burden for you, because everybody was taking you for granted. Nobody seemed to see the value, the worth that you were providing for them. And that caused a lot of you guys to feel really bad about yourselves, really wondering, like, am I just not as worthy as, like you were questioning yourself for a while, but then you kind of started to realize, you know, that it's like you deserve more than that. And I feel like you've been around people that have either gossiped or lied to you. There's something about the people the company that you keep, Aquarius, that really you're going to be evaluating, because I feel like a lot of you guys are really focusing on gaining clarity now, gaining the truth. You don't want to... Yeah, but as I say that, 7 of Spades came out, and then we have the 7 of Clubs. So it's like you guys are kind of seeing a cycle with people in your relationship and in your foundation. It's like there is lies built on this foundation. There was deceit built, and I feel like there was somebody that was feeding you lies. They were feeding you lies. They were telling you things that you wanted to hear. This person was always on the defensive. They always say, oh, I invest into you. What are you talking about, Aquarius? Like, are you going to hold this over my head too? It's like you tried to set boundaries, and it's like this person, they walked straight over it, and it's like your boundaries didn't even matter. I feel like you were trying to communicate as best and as effectively as you can, but you're dealing with somebody who is cunning. And I think that that's something that's also kind of an issue for you guys, is you're trying to break free and you're allowing yourself to, but you're doing it out of because you feel kind of like defeated. This person makes you feel defeated because of all of the games that they've played. And they make you feel alone. They make you feel isolated. They cause you pain, and they make you question yourself. They make you wonder if you should or shouldn't. This person made you feel unsupported and unnurtured and unloved. And it's like you feel like you're boring almost in a way. Like people treat you like you're boring somehow. You know, it's like, I must be boring because everybody always leaves me. Like there's some type of belief that you have. It's like you always expect things to go badly for you, Aquarius, or you just always seem to have a type, you know? It's like there's always a type of person that you always seem to attract into you. And you think to yourself, wow, I must be the common denominator. Like, I must be the one that has to figure out what to do, because it's like different people, but it's like the same lessons. And you just feel kind of trapped. You don't know what to do. But I feel like a lot of you guys are trying to gain your own clarity. We have here perfection, and I feel like it's in the blocked because a lot of you guys, maybe you're just, you stay stuck on things, Aquarius, because it's like, so I feel like for a lot of you guys in your life, it feels like your love life or your family life or whatever this is impacting, it feels as though it always seems to be in a halt, like things never seem to progress, never seem to really go anywhere. And I think it's because a lot of it has to do with how you go about other areas of your life. So some of you guys are perfectionists, and maybe you draw or you do something and you try to put your work out there, but then you come up with an excuse, oh, it's not entirely finished. And it's like you don't finish something because then it means that you don't fail, because then it's like you can always show people your artwork and be like, oh, it's a work in progress compared to it's finished. Because if it's finished, then people can criticize it. So it's almost like there's something in your life, Aquarius, that you have a tendency of trying to avoid, or you keep acting like there's something that's never finished, like your healing is never finished, you're never good enough. It's like there's something that's never quite finished in your life, and it's like it bleeds into other areas of your life. And I think it's a lot to do with wanting to be a kind of like in a sense a perfectionist. You're kind of on the road of your own discovery, kind of learning things as you go along. So you're kind of dropping things, but you're also having a hard time letting certain things go, because it's like you're discovering new things about yourself, but it's like maybe it's hard for you guys to really let a old piece of yourself go in order for you to grab onto the next thing. So it's like you're having to learn to basically rediscover your passion and rediscover what it is that you want. But it's like that perfectionism is kind of blocking you guys. We also have prayer, but it's in the reverse. And my thought process of this is, for some of you guys, maybe you haven't asked the divine for help or asked the divine for support. Maybe a lot of you guys feel really weird about praying, or really weird about just opening up. And maybe it's also what I'm getting to is maybe you're really afraid to express what you desire. You're really afraid to express what it is that you want. And maybe that's something that you also kind of keep inside of yourself, Aquarius. And it's like you need to learn to let that part of yourself out. Because I feel like what's really happening here is your self-worth is really shining through, and learning to have gratitude for people and the situations that you deal with. I feel like once you have more gratitude for everyone around you, and more gratitude towards yourself, you're going to start to really see things shifting and changing. Because I feel like your self-worth has a lot to do with how other people were treating you, because I feel like for a while, a lot of you guys felt like you were never the priority. You were never seen the way that you wanted to be seen. And it's like people around you, because you always go at things as a work in progress, people around you always see you as a work in progress. Like there's always something going on with Aquarius's life, or you just kind of have this air about you that seems like you're kind of unstable in a way, because you feel unstable in other connections. And I think that for a lot of you guys, that's something that you're kind of like grappling with for the month of February, is really figuring out like what is your desires, what is going to fulfill you, and how can you implicate that into your life, but also how can you show yourself that you're worthy of this improvement, that you're worthy of this upgrade in life. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, there's something that you want really bad, and it's there for you to take. But the issue is you have this sense of you don't deserve it, or it's not good enough, or I'm not good enough, so I need to work harder to get to that. And you're having to really learn that that's not how it works. You are always going to be evolving, but there's also a part of you that needs to love and accept where you're at currently. And also not be afraid of getting feedback from other people, because other people can see things that you can't see. So we also have a change in the wind, and then we have clean it up. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, that's what I'm really sensing is like, yeah, you kind of seem to have this sense of not being stable. It's like you're always a work in progress. You always seem to be moving. Maybe for a lot of people, it's like that just seems like what your life has been like for lately, is like it's almost like anything can change at a drop of a hat. It's like you have to kind of clean up your side of your life. You have to really clear up space for other things to come in. So if you want to have an actual relationship with somebody, you need to clear the space for that person to come into your life. You can't just think that, okay, this is what's going to happen and this person's going to manifest into my life. You have to clear the space for that to be there. And I feel like that's what's kind of happening with the cleaning it up and then, the changing of the wind. I feel like a lot of you guys, you need to really ground yourself. You really need to center yourself. We also have no place like home. So a lot of you guys, you feel like there's this sense of longing, of wanting to feel belonged, wanting to feel special. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is something you felt for such a long time, is never feeling understood, always feeling alone, and always feeling like time is such a factor in your life. Feeling like you know it's time to go, but there's times that you stay because you wait for people or you wait for things to change when maybe they don't change. And so it's like you have to learn to evolve and you have to learn to accept where other people are on their journey. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's like you really, when we have the 2 root chakras here and then we have the solar plexus, I feel like really working on your lower 3 chakras are really going to help you really ground yourself. And then once you get more grounded in your roots, start with the sacral next. So like work your way up. I think that's really going to help you guys. So for the month of February, really start to ground yourself, Aquarius, and really try to find a way to categorize your life. Try to find ways to where you don't feel like you're grasping at straws. All right. So we have worth. You have been worthy to belong to love all along without any need to improve. In fact, you are love itself. And that's really what I was getting with you guys with that worth and just needing things to be perfect. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you feel like you're just always a work in progress because you feel like you're never good enough to truly be loved. So you always work towards healing yourself because you have this fear that you are not enough and that you have to keep pushing yourself to be more loved, to be more accepted. And then you look around the world around you and you think, oh my gosh, my world is still such a mess. I must be still such a mess. But you never give yourself the chance to really appreciate where you're coming from and to really ground yourself and to just say, okay, all of this good stuff can come to me now. I'm open to receiving it. Because for some of you guys, it's just that you're not open to receiving it because you don't think you're really worthy. And that's really what's happening for a lot of you guys, is you really need to just accept where you're at, Aquarius, and just know that you are healed, that you are loved. We also have here sanctity. Through offering even the most mundane problem, it can become a sacrament. So learning to just kind of be in that state, that flow for you guys, even when you're doing mundane tasks, just realize that you're more than just your body. You're more than just this person that you're playing as. You are something that is truly eternal, and you're having to learn to have honor and respect for yourself, because oftentimes we can respect other people more than we can respect ourselves, and we can treat others better than we treat ourselves. And it's time that you guys start to learn to really let that go and realize that you're no less than anyone else. Nobody else is better than you. So we also have right action. Pagaphira, if I say that right, literally means let everything that you want go, and everything that wants to come. So exactly, it's like taking the right action is by knowing that if something is meant to stay in your life, it will stay in your life. If something is meant to be lost in your life, it's going to fall away, and you need to accept it. It's when we hold on to it that causes us a lot of pain. It's when we can't accept that something is only meant to stay temporarily is what causes us grief. And a lot of us needs to learn that, what's meant to come into our life is going to come into our life. What's meant to is going to go. But you can't control it, because either way, the longer you try to fight it, I mean, the longer it drags itself out and the more painful it becomes. And we also have here love at the bottom. Divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation. Only love itself. Yeah. So I feel like you guys are really kind of coming into what truly love is, even for you, because everybody experiences love a little differently. And I think for some of you guys, you're starting to learn and figure out what your love language is. You're kind of starting to go on the right path of where you should be heading and where you're going to go, because where you're going to end up is going to be much better than where you are now. And so for a lot of you guys, you're in this transition period in February, and it's going to cause some of you guys to really have to go and ground and inward into yourself and realize that you yourself is home, that wherever you go, you're going to be okay. And to learn to really trust that you are worthy of the things that you desire, the things that you really want, and not to be afraid to ask for that, or not to be afraid to entertain the idea of that. It's like some of my Aquariuses have had so much disappointment in relationships that some of you guys are so afraid to have expectations almost anymore. Like a part of you guys are so afraid to even wish for a relationship or wish for anything other than what you already have, because you're so afraid that it's not going to work out or that you're going to lose something out of it. So it's like you're having to learn to kind of get out of that mindset. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, once you learn to kind of break free and realize that you don't have to consistently self-improve to be loved, that you should just be loved because you exist, because you deserve to be loved, because everybody has flaws and everybody has weaknesses, and we should still learn to accept and love ourselves even with those flaws and weaknesses. And if anything, that just proves that we are human, that we're here to have that experience. So it's like, learn to love your strengths, but learn to appreciate and love your weaknesses as well. Because once you start to see your weaknesses, you can start to build them to make them more stronger, so that they're not so much as a weakness anymore. So I feel like that's what's really going on for a lot of my Aquariuses. I hope that this resonates for you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.